I want to talk about a couple of our competitors, what we like about them, and where we think there's an opportunity for us to innovate and improve. I picked three competitors from kind of a large set of the available ones out there. Each one represents kind of a different type of competition, so we'll talk about these in a little depth. But first, let's just start with the basic competitor that everyone is familiar with, Google. So the scenario I kind of wanted to walk through on each of these tools is, let's say I know a email service provider or email marketing system like Constant Contact, and I want to find out what are the alternatives out there and which one is best for me. So that's our scenario. So maybe I'll type in Constant Contact versus, and I'll get a list of articles that have that in the name. Now we're all familiar with how this search goes, right? You spend 30 minutes looking through random, often old blog posts, at which point you just ask a friend and use whatever they tell you to use. So let's talk about something a little more sophisticated than that. Here I am on top 10 reviews, and this is a site that's kind of classic in its nature. If I search for Constant Contact, I will get here's some search results, but then I can go to a product page and I can get a summary, like how much it costs, pros and cons, a lot of text and some sort of boxes, which I'm not sure what they mean, but pretty normal review kind of stuff, CNET style. If I want to compare them to my other offerings, then I can click on this category. I can see all the different options out there, which is great. This is useful to see all my alternatives. Where it begins to kind of break down in our scenario of helping us find the right solution is I've got a bunch of options here, and it's the same, slightly less, slightly less, slightly less, slightly less, and then even less. It's like, where's the differentiation? How do I know which one to pick? You've provided me a list, which is great, and then you tried to hypnotize me with a series of checkboxes, like a ridiculous number of checkboxes. Things that there's really no differentiation on. Reports for opened emails and bounced emails. Everybody has those, so why is that interesting? And delivered, undeliverable, there's a blank here, which is kind of surprising. Who's that? For MailChimp, you say. So now I've got some questions, because I know MailChimp offers this in a report. So I've got some questions about the data reliability here as well. It's something. I've got a list, but it certainly doesn't meet the requirements for our scenario. Next site I wanted to show you was Alternative 2. This kind of takes a different approach. It's not going to have someone going through and researching all of this information, which is nice because maybe crowdsourced model is a little more up to date. Let's see how it works. So I'm going to go into Alternative 2, and I'm going to say Constant Contact. And the idea here is that people can like services that are alternatives to a particular service. So here I have Constant Contact. They've listed it as a service. Great, it's here. It's surrounded with ads everywhere, but still I've got something. I've got 0 likes here. I'm not sure what that means, but I've got 0 likes. We see MailChimp though has 10 likes. Campaign Monitor, and then a couple other sporadic email services, many of which I've never heard of, and also a number that I have heard of are not listed here. So we don't have quite the breadth as top 10 reviews, but there's some sort of crowdsourcing notion here. If I go into MailChimp, I can see its alternatives, which isn't particularly interesting, but there's some comments in here, but there's only one. Not great, but it's a start. It's crowdsourced, but clearly it's not going to meet our needs. It doesn't give me an exhaustive list of all my alternatives. It doesn't help me walk through them and try to find the best one for me. It's got some community, but obviously it's not great. So the last one I wanted to show was Web 2 Review. Now these guys have done a lot of things that we think they've done right. If I go in here and I search for Constant Contact, a little drop down, and I think I want to click Site. And here I've got a little overview. It feels a little bit like top 10 reviews, except it has this community aspect as well. Some reviews, perhaps it's from their local community, or maybe they've pulled them from somewhere else. That's nice. To the latest buzz. So this is cool. They've done some gathering for me. They've got incentives for contributing my own review. This is nice. But if I want to see the category all up, I've got we also recommend, and like 5 or 6 here. I don't know what criteria they've used to list these, and I know there are more out there. I could use that. But what I'd rather do, and I happen to know this little trick, if I type in email marketing, I can get a category that pops up. and I can get an overview of all the different services in this category, which is great. Good. Now we're getting somewhere. We got a little bit of crowdsourced in the back end, although if we look at the number of reviews, none, 3, 3, 1, 2, 1. So it's not a lot, but there's something. But if I go into something like rank, which sounds like a very interesting idea, I can actually possibly rank and filter some of these, which gets us much closer. Except that here's where we think they've fallen down a bit. Great idea, great concept, but no customer development clearly, and no user experience kind of from the user's perspective, from our target user's perspective. Like, I've got sliders here for value. Like, I have no idea at what point I would want low value or high value. I have no idea. Like, security, really? Is that something I'm gonna toggle? Usability, same thing. Access, I don't even know what this means, so like I'm not sure where to put this dial. And notice how they don't really change any of the reviews or my ratings anyway. So interesting idea. We think there could have been a lot more done as far as user experience and a way to make this idea useful, and a little lacking on customer development. But we like the idea of the community, and we like the idea of being able to rate in reviews. Okay, so where does that leave us? Well, that leaves us with a number of competitors who kind of understand the market space a little bit, who have tried a little bit, but really at the end of the day are missing the key workflows. We think they're missing a key understanding of the demographic, and really how to make a useful service to get someone from I have a problem to this is the solution I need. All right, so let's see how we can do in the next couple weeks to pump out something that meets these requirements.